Hey, good morning. I want to take a video of this 1962, I believe it is, if I ran the serial numbers got it right. It's a 62 Gravely two-wheeled tractor. And I bought it for my property because I got like an acre of woods back here. So I use it like once or twice a year just to go through and cut down the underbrush. But this thing is awesome. Like I said, it's almost as old as I am. I'm only a couple years older than this thing. And it's got this 30-inch rotary brush hog on the front of it that works a smaller scale, but still works nearly as good as the one we had behind the tractor on the farm. It's kind of limited in size, this stuff. But basically, if you can bend the tree over, like a sapling or whatever, it'll just chew right through it. It also has a 30-inch blade that can be put on the front. Maybe that's 36 inches. Looks a little wider than that. But anyways, that can be pushed dirt or snow. I used it for both. And because of the layout of the tractor, it predominantly gets a really good traction because all the weight's on the back tires anyways. But incorporated on the front of this, they have a transmission, in this case, where the white bolts, the mower bolts up there. You see there's 4 bolts there that bolt on the transmission. And right above that, there's an engagement lever that engages the clutch, I guess. And then behind it you have the drive mechanism, and then behind that in the back is the engine, which is a 6.6 horsepower made by Studebaker. But the thing's a tractor motor. I mean, literally. It has a flywheel the size of Texas, I think, and when you start it, it's relatively apparent that it has a lot of momentum behind on a crankshaft. So I never tore one apart, but that would be interesting. But I expect there's a huge flywheel in that thing. Coming around to the back side, it has a strap start. It doesn't even have a recoil start. It's so old. And it used to have a sediment bowl there. And I put on a filter with a shutoff valve. So as is my habit with stuff I don't use very often, when I'm done using, I try to use it out of gas, or at least drain the fuel out of it, and then let it run the carburetor dry. So that way you don't end up with a bunch of varnish in your carburetors and float sticks and stuff like that. But this thing has been starting really well. I would say this has been sitting around since, I don't know, I think last year. No, I did run it this spring, and the air cleaner fell off, so I put that green piece of foam on there, just zip tied it on. And the muffler blew out, so I put another muffler on it. But I would expect it'll probably start right up. Let's give it a try. So you just wrap the strap here around the crank. Turn the fuel on, give it some choke. This thing's cold. Let's see how many pulls it takes. Well, so much for first pull. That's what it did last time. This thing probably won't start because I got the camera on it. Jinxed. No primer or anything on this. Give it a little gas, see if that helps. Almost. That is a pretty big sized tree though for this thing. Whew. Well, she ran out of gas. And frankly, so did I. I'll tell you what. I think an improvement I will make on this. There is no kill switch. Well, the kill switch is down here, which grounds out the magneto. You just push that. But it'd be nice to have like a dead man switch where you just pull it and it comes on, done. I put a piece of baler twine on a spark plug wire. That's kind of a little bit of a safety device, but when you're working this thing, when you push forward on this handle, it goes reverse. You pull back, it goes forward. It seems kind of not intuitive. Excuse me, I'm out of breath because I just pulled it up the hill. But they may have done that so if you fall backwards, you pull back on it, it goes away from you. It goes forward, not backwards. Because this thing, there's no kill switch on it, man. There's no way to stop it. If you put it in reverse, it'll come right over you, and you'll end up getting chewed up by the brush mower. That did occur to me a couple times as I was using it. I was like, all right, back is forward, forward is back when I was operating. Okay, push it forward, that goes back, pull it back, it goes forward. Because you get in a tight spot there, you don't have a lot of room behind the handlebars. You know, if you got that backwards, you might be in a world of hurt pretty quick. But once again, she's old faithful here. She ran good. Got the new muffler on there. That was fine. Yeah, just put it away till next year. The important thing is I ran out of gas. So it ran out, so I didn't want to put any more fuel in it. I figure I just store it that way usually. But it's already done, so So I put a shut-off valve here, so I shut the fuel off normally, even if I have fuel in it, and let the carburetor starve itself out of fuel, and the thing will shut off by itself. Yeah, pretty impressive. 6.6 horsepower, and that thing's got to weigh, I don't know, 200-300 pounds anyways, I'm guessing. That's pretty heavy, and just to push it around takes a lot of power, not to mention chewing up the brush like that thing did. You can see, like back there, I hit some brush piles. That's the first thing I showed you. There's a brush pile down there that's pretty much gone. What I do if I cut down a tree, I just pull the tops up in the woods, kind of spread them out. Sometimes I pile them up, but usually I spread them out some. And those two down there that I hit were from an oak tree that I cut down 2 years ago. And it kind of, the wood gets soft and makes it easier to drive through, but it's a lot easier than using a chipper shredder. I have a chipper shredder too, but that would have taken like hours. I would have still been at it. You know, this thing just plows through it, and it doesn't catch it all. Can you get the rest next time? You see down here, I mowed all that down. Looks a lot better. Up around by the chicken coop, I mowed that down. Around back here, where that sunlight is, next to that stump, that pile was probably 2 foot tall at least, and now it's down to the ground. I kind of just got it. Some wood, big pieces were sitting there, so I didn't bother with that. But I went through the back there and again cut up some brush that I pulled up in there. There's still some work to be done back there, but for one day, this thing is still going. It ran out of gas, but I'm done. I am totally exhausted. Oh boy. The Gravely 1962 Studebaker powered 6.6 massive horsepower 30-inch brush hog. I don't know. I just like tractors. What can I say? Oh, well, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you later. Bye.